today, and if the market's at 12,650, and which leads me to the U.S. trading day ahead with Ben Lichtenstein at the CME and Kevin Cutterell at Stifel. Nicholas covering currencies. Boris Schlossberg, met him face to face. He's even more handsome, taller, and more buff in person than on the air. We saw him at the LA Awards the other night. Ben, here's my question.
All right, let's get to that handsome guy now.
Yeah.
Guys, thank you very much. But Boris has been sitting around waiting for us. And Boris, we've been trying to figure out not only if we've seen a bottom in the financials, but also if we've seen a bottom in the dollar. You say we need to be watching the Russians, and what have they been up to?
Yeah, you know, it's very, very interesting. I actually remember I came on, I said the euro dollar had a really hard time clearing 159 on Monday, and then we had that exhaustion move, and since then we were 400 points lower. I think we really had pretty much of a sentiment blow off in the euro, because for the last several weeks the theme in the currency market has been that any positive euro news will drive the euro rally. Now we're starting to see the whole decoupling thesis go by the wayside. European data is starting to become weak, and the only way euro rallies is if you have very, very bad data out of the U.S. Now, one of the things that caught my eye yesterday was that the Russian central bank actually started purchasing USD dollars. And I watched them very carefully because they were sellers of dollar yen at 120. They were buyers of pound at around 190. They were buyers of euro at 134. They're one of the best traders in the market. And bottom line is, you don't want to be fading the Russian central bank. If they're starting to buy dollars, they're perceiving that at these levels, we probably have an intermediate level top, and it's probably a relatively decent value at this point.
Boris, how long has the Russian central bank been right on this?
Well, the last 3 or 4 times they've positioned themselves in various currencies, they've been right. So I kind of give them a lot of credence, you know. Russians are pretty good traders, so I think the rule here is don't beat the Russians.
Do we need to watch gold, Boris? I mean, what happens first? The dollar? Do you need the dollar to strengthen before gold comes down, or will gold come down first to tell us the dollar's about to strengthen?
It's a chicken and egg story. I think the dollar story...
The chicken on yesterday, in fact.
Somebody wrote in to bring him back.
Yeah, we want to bring him back. It was good for the market. But
you know, speaking of gold, by the way, Joe, just before the show, you guys had a commercial for cashforgold.com, and this happened actually on Monday as well. And the moment I saw that, I said to myself, man, if that isn't a sentiment blowout, I don't know what is.
Yeah. Well, when they're running out of metal detectors in Florida because people are combing the beaches for rings, you know there's a problem.
Exactly. I think all of this is an intermediate level top. We're probably not at the end of the dollar decline, you know, long-term structurally, but for the near term, I think we clearly have a rally here. We're probably going to go 150, unless the labor situation just deteriorates completely. Unless we have a minus 100,000 or worse NFPs, then all bets are off. But for now, we seem to have really found the bottom, I think.
So are you saying Friday's job number is more important than ever, Boris?
As always, the consumer, you know, because now that everybody kind of feels that the credit situation is calm, the next focus is going to be the U.S. consumer. Can the U.S. consumer hold ground? That's going to be the next big question for all markets. And if it can, if we basically, even if we just muddle on through with 0.5% to 1% growth, that's positive for the dollar. But if we start to see the consumer cave in, that's the big problem ahead of us.
All right.